I would not have wasted my time talking on Asari Dokunbo, or whatever his name. If I called his name wrongly, may he forgive me. Asari Dokunbo was in the villa, running down Igbos. He killed them, they were slaves, and he forgot that he was from Abia State. His grandparents were from Abia State, and they were sold into slavery. And the president thinks he's very smart. Give us chief of naval staff, as if that is the means of livelihood, but go on to destroy the integrity, the ultimate integrity of the Igbo man. You know, the Court of Appeal, second highest court in this land, has discharged him, and they are still holding him. I pray that nothing happens to that boy in prison, that he does not die in prison. If he does, they can call it an advice, they can call it a threat. The situation will not be the same in this country.
Okay, every day we are graced by lots of political issues that need immediate solutions, okay? And I think all solutions are pointing at the fact whether or not the present government of Bola Asiwaju Tinubu would actually do this, or would actually prefer quick solutions to these issues, because when not actually resolved in due time, this might really cause political chaos in the country. It's not about enacting laws here and there, sacking people here and there. It's all about hearing the voice of the people and doing the needful, because that is the reason why you have voted into power. My name is Angelo. Welcome to Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. Now, that comment you heard at the introduction was by Chief Dan Olasi. Chief Dan Olasi was a former chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Anambra State, and then he's also a political analyst and all that. But let us talk about why he was really bitter about what he was saying and why he's angry right now at the studios of the AIT. Now, on the comment recently made by Asari Dokunbo, where he was seen holding an AK-47 rifle, threatening Nigerians that are predominantly from the southeast, who are predominantly Igbos, and also wishing he had his way to sell them into slavery just like his forefathers did. Now, Chief Dan Olasi has reacted to those comments, and he had lots to say about the former militant and his recent statement. But before I show you that video, did you know that Asari Dokunbo is an Igbo boy? Well, I think you're surprised, right? Well, did you know that Asari Dokunbo's roots is from an Abia State extraction? Did you know? So when he's making statements like that, I feel he doesn't even know where he's coming from, because if he knows where he's coming from, Asari Dokunbo would really calm down and retrace his steps. The video where Chief Dan Olasi made statements.
I would not have wasted my time talking on Asari Dokunbo, or whatever his name. If I called his name wrongly, may he forgive me. But it is where he was coming from. This man went on a courtesy call to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or whomsoever the President designated for him to meet. Where was he making that comment? At the seat of government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with our coat of arms behind him. With the coat of arms of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the villa behind him, and he ran down a whole ethnic population of this country. So, don't you think that it was a strategy, it was an approved speech? Why do I say so? Within a space of 6 weeks, 3 significant things were happening at the same time. Asari Dokunbo was in the villa, running down Igbos. He killed them, they were slaves, and he forgot that he was from Abia State. His grandparents were from Abia State, and they were sold into slavery. In 2020, if you watched another video where he was praising Biafra, that anybody who never believed in Biafra is not a patriot, each time he says such a thing, they give him contract. I hear now they are giving the security contract from Abuja to Kaduna. So that's probably what is out. So on one hand, the president of Nigeria was making a Nigerian of Igbo extraction, the chief of naval staff. And everybody was applauding that. And as that one was going on, they sent out Asari Dokunbo to run down a whole tribe. It was not enough. In Lagos State, the government of Lagos State was systematically destroying the properties of Igbos at Alaba Market. So it's significant things. And the president thinks he's very smart. give us naval chief of naval staff, as if that is the means of livelihood, but go on to destroy the integrity, the ultimate integrity of the Igbo man. You know, there's nothing our people appreciate than our honor, the hard work we put to make this country a successful place, to make this country one. I doubt, with due humility, if any other tribe has made as much compromise in terms of human-to-human relationship that the Igbos have done. A few years ago, the Oba of Lagos said, because Igbos in Lagos voted for a Yoruba man that was not of their own approval, that we should drown in the lagoon. And as of today, neither the Lagos state government, nor the now president of Nigeria, or Buhari's government had made a comment that a whole tribe should perish in the lagoon. And you're talking of unity, love. Where is it? It is even more, you know, so painful that the person condemning us we should die, they should kill us. It's an Igbo boy in the name of Asari Dokunbo. And he does not see why Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Buhari said, let the legal process take its course. The legal process has taken its course. The Court of Appeal, second highest court in this land, has discharged him, and they are still holding him. I pray that nothing happens to that boy in prison, that he does not die in prison. If he does, they can call it an advice, they can call it a threat. The situation will not be the same in this country. I pray, and I hope Tinubu is smart enough not to be a Buhari. You know, I'm discussing with top-level Igbos in both parties. How do we begin to sort out our problem? Because we have to sort it out. At least for the defense of our own people who are helpless. People are being sliced, their noses are being sliced. You see it in social media. That's where we have degenerated. And if you remember, 4 years ago I warned on this platform that Nigeria is gradually falling into Afghanistan. We're even worse than Afghanistan now. Because every day 10, 20, 40 people are killed in different places in this country. It's worse now in Southern Kaduna and Plateau State, not to talk of Benue. Is that the way we live? And this president is now telling us how difficult it was to rule Nigeria. He didn't know that for the 8 years he was jumping around the world with our presidential jet. When you don't have a vision, put Nigeria back more than 20 years. You know, how should or why should Asari Dokunbo complain of Labour? I'm not the Labour Party. I don't have any sympathies for anybody. I'm a PD person, and I thought by my calculation it was easier for the Igbos to come into limelight. That was Akweme's belief. That was Ojukwu's belief. That we start, because of this hatred, which you are now seeing all over the place, let us go stage by stage. Ekweme was vice president, and we were right in power, right in the corridor of it. Peter Obi was vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar. If he was again vice presidential candidate this time around, PDP would have been in government. It would have been the easiest point, by the grace of God, for us to see power. By the time anybody woke up in the morning, we'll be in power.
Okay, welcome back. You've heard it from Dan Olasi there. Chief Dan Olasi is a very, very bitter man today because from the statements made by Asari Dokunbo, nobody is taking it lightly, especially the political warheads from the southeast are not taking it lightly with the comments made by Asari Dokunbo. Well, I have told you before, and I will reiterate that Asari Dokunbo is an Igbo boy. Of course, if you watched that video during the pandemic where he made statements and was applauding Igbo people for one or two things, he really had to consent there that he was from Igbo extraction. So I see no reason why he should threaten the Igbos. Even if somebody made a statement to you, I prefer, or I feel you should, if you must avenge or revenge, you should direct your statements straight to whoever made statements to you, other than generalizing a whole ethnic group in a country as large as Nigeria. Well, that is that on that particular update. Secondly, it is no longer news that the EFCC boss, Abdurrashid Bawa, was arrested a few days ago or 2 weeks ago and kept in the correctional facility of the Directorate of State Security. But news reaching us today is saying that the Directorate of State Security, DSS, have whisked the EFCS boss to another private facility where they would have predominance or predominant power over him, because news reaching us is saying that the EFCC boss has refused to make statements as regards to the reasons for his arrest. and he has played adamant and he has played calm throughout the time, and he is proving to be a thorn in the flesh for the DSS operatives. So in order to gain predominant power or to gain a sort of dominance over him, he has been whisked to another private facility belonging to the DSS. That is according to the updates reaching us. Now, Governor Ademola Adeleke was at a prayer ground today in Osogbo for the Eid prayers commemorating the Salah celebration today. But something very, very bad happened to him. An assassination attempt was made on his life. A governor who is loved by his people, who has been doing well for his people and so on, was facing a sort of life-threatening occurrence that would actually threaten anybody in power. Now, in the wake of that, on an official visit to Osogbo for Eid prayers, as earlier stated, Governor Adeleke Ademola really ran into an altercation at the Eid prayer ground. Now, chaos erupted at the prayer ground over a seating arrangement problem with Ajibola Bashiru, former Senate spokesperson, in the middle of the altercation. Now, this heated altercation resulted in Governor Ademola Adeleke leaving the vicinity abruptly. In a statement by his spokesperson, the governor expressed gratitude to God for his safety and his team. He further directed law enforcement agencies to apprehend those responsible, for there was more to this altercation than just mere little political quarrels. Okay, now without much ado, I will give you a brief explanation of what really happened, because lots of Nigerians don't have first-hand information on what really conspired at the Eid prayer ground today in Osogbo. So on this particular platform, I will give you a first-hand information on what really conspired. Watch this.
Let's hear from the governor's side. The spokesperson to the governor of Osun State, Olawale Rasheed, is also here with us virtually from Iwo. Mr. Rasheed, what really happened? Was there an assassination attempt on the governor?
Thank you very much. Before I answer the question, let me quickly go over all what the senators has just said. One, the governor was live at Eid Grant today, and all the facts were there. Chief Badmos and Pidmos and others, they interacted with, including the chief imam. Secondly, it was wrong and false to say there was no seat or protocol officers ahead. That's like an advance team. We have a red carpet that was actually laid for the governor, and we have 3 of our protocol officers who are there. And when they moved up to onto the earmarked area, they were challenged, but they were overruled. And in the process, one of our honorable was beaten up. So it is wrong. The senator was wrong to have said there is no advanced party. We have an advanced party. The place was marked with a red carpet. And again, he made a reference to a leader of Incidentally, that Muniru Raji that the senator called a political irritant was one of the people responsible for the defeat of the senator in the last election. So definitely, if you call him a political thug, you are wrong. Now, let me go to the issue of assassination attempt. What we notice when we enter is that we enter into a trap. In addition to the issue of taking over the governor's seat, we notice armed, strange-looking guys positioned all over strategic positions within the Eid Grant. When we saw that, when we enter, we thought, well, maybe they are security people. But at the time we enter and we are right close to the front of where we are supposed to pray, we noticed that these people are armed. And while we were watching over that, it was at that point we noticed the commotion, which is being shown here now. So we quickly said to the governor, oh, the security people said, no, let's go back to the car. We're going to secure the governor. We did that. Chief Bidmos and others came and said, don't worry, everything is calm. By the time we come out again, those strange-looking people were encircling where the governor was staying. including the team. It was at that point we noticed that this is beyond ordinary and we need to move. And that's why quickly we ferried the Gulf into the jeep, surround the jeep, and from there we left. And the police came in. They want to actually question the senator because he's the one that took over the space where the Gulf was supposed to stay, which started the whole commotion. And it is false to say that the Eid ground was locked up. It is false. It is not true. People were inside, they came out, and the senator was approached by the police. And as to the issue of, nobody brought up the issue of assassination attempts. The reality is this. God save our governor today. And we had a Thanksgiving event at the country home where we thank God for saving the life of our governor. And whatever Senator Ajibola will say, as of today, he has gone to the police, and I know the police will take up the...
All right, you actually watched it there, and you've known why there was an altercation at that same Eid prayer ground where Governor Ademola Adeleke went to pray today at Osogbo. That means that particular altercation was not just about seating arrangements, but it was all about politics. So, by so saying, some people were armed with rifles, with ammunition and guns to assassinate the governor, which was not supposed to be so, according to the spokesperson in that video. Well, that is that we could say about that. Finally, I would urge our viewers, both incoming and already existing, to please tap the subscribe button, and also don't forget to tap the notification bell so you will get updates anytime we drop new contents. And then don't forget to like, share, and watch till the end. Finally, drop a comment for us in the comment section if you feel you have a sort of advice or a sort of suggestion, or you feel any different from what we do here. Finally, Chief Magnus Ngeabe, former senator representing Rivers Southeast Senatorial District of Rivers State, has given his own remarks on the conduct of the general elections, especially in Rivers State. And I can't say outrightly and categorically that he didn't say good things about the conduct of the electoral process. Without much ado, let me allow you watch a brief cutaway from the interview granted by Chief Magnus Ngeabe, so he would really school us on what he feels degraded the electoral process in Rivers State, Port Harcourt. And to be precise, Magnus Ngeabe really brought out, I think, the flash points, what I would say the focal points of electoral irregularities and, let's say, electoral malpractices and what have you, and all that, that actually spearheaded in the cancellation, or yes, the cancellation, let me say, of electoral processes in most local governments in Rivers State. Watch Chief Magnus Ngeabe.
Victim of the 2023 election. So I know the things that are wrong.
So you lost the election fairly?
No, I'm telling you that I know the things that are wrong with the elections. The things that are wrong with the elections is not the law or the process. So it is the fact that politicians refuse in several places and in several cases to respect the rules and the systems that have been put in place.
So in Rivers State, where you ran for governor, was the election free and fair there?
I have already said severally that it was not. The process...
So when you say the election was generally a good one, so it's an exception of Rivers State?
Listen, I have said before, and I want to repeat here, that wherever the process was allowed to work, this process that we have put in place for elections in this country is very, very good. It is a superb improvement on what we had before.
In Rivers State, did it work?
It didn't work in Rivers State.
Everybody knows Rivers was an exception of the...
Yes, because people made it not to work, because people didn't respect the rules. So where people respect the rules and play by the rules, we will have an outcome that will be pretty much acceptable to almost...
So were you rigged out in Rivers?
Sure, I have said clearly that for me, and I want to repeat that here, the election in Rivers State was an aberration. I even said that before the election, that there will be problem in Rivers State. And everybody knew that there will be problem. But you know, coming down here now, I'm not here to discuss Rivers State election. I'm talking about Nigeria and the Nigerian process as far as this election is concerned.
You know, Rivers is an element within the
Yes, but
the
even before the
election
in Rivers State, I told the whole world that everybody in Nigeria knew that Rivers State would be a problem, and it was.
So are you in court to challenge the process?
No, I've withdrawn from the court.
Why?
Why did I withdraw? There are several reasons why I withdrew.
Political exigency?
Political exigency and practical...
Chief of which is what?
Sorry?
Out of political exigency, as a chief of your reason is which one?
Well, Sheil, you know that we have a new president, we have new hopes, we have a new atmosphere. And I do believe that as much as possible at this point, all of us should put hands together to see how we can move the country forward.
So are you still in SDP or you have moved to the APC?
I have not moved, but I went to the SDP primarily because of the Rivers State situation and the politics of Rivers State. As far as the national politics was concerned...
All said and done, I would say that was a good remark or called appraisal to give about the election. I think Magnus Ngiabe should be called as a witness in the ongoing presidential elections petitions tribunal, because he can say, I think if he reiterates this in the doc, that means he will be crowned or he will be seen as a principal expert witness. Yes, well, that is that was just a relief of humor, but I will say that that was the truth. Of course, that is just the bitter truth about it. The elections in Rivers State was a sham, and so too was the elections in every other state, the presidential elections to be precise. But well, it's left for Magnus Ngiabe to make do or make of what he has said rather, to see if those involved will really listen to him. Of course, news reaching us said yesterday, according to my updates, that the European Union has really reacted to the electoral process or the electoral process that took place, and it degraded and termed it as a sham. So that means we all are saying the same thing. Well, stay glued to Nation's Voice Tower for more updates. I thank you so much for staying glued to us and staying tuned to our own program for you, because we will always give you that particular platform where you hear all sorts of political occurrences denting the political system in Nigeria and abroad. Thanks so much for being with us. See you next time. Bye.